This pirate trend, Jerry, this is going to be the new look for the 90s. You're going to be the first pirate.
But I don't want to be a pirate.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Hey kids, welcome to Grumpy Nostalgia, the Second Look Cinema podcast, the show where we go back to that blockbuster new release wall of our memory. We grab a copy off that shelf, we pop it in our VCR, and we see what time has done to it. I'm Justin, that's Mike.
Bask me timbers and shiver me poop deck.
And together we're here to help you navigate all those landmines littered down memory lane.
Sorry. I'm already got a whole jug of rum in me. I'm good.
Mike, you're kind of showing your hand early here, pal.
Oh, sorry.
All right, well, anyway, so this is part 2 of our summer spectacular series, Mike, we're calling Bombs Away. And we're already spent, quite frankly, guys.
Cannonball.
Yeah, it's to top it all off. We're very hot here. It's been like the heat index is like over 104 Fahrenheit for what, like 8 days in a row now, Mike?
Oh, at least.
Yeah, so that hasn't helped our collective mood, and then we decided to throw this movie on top of that. Now we're just hot and angry, and we're going to take it out on our audience. So there you go. So, Mike, part 2 of the trilogy, usually where the plot gets more complex and the characters go their separate ways, and there's they call it the turn in the story, Mike, where things start happening. This is not the case for us. This is just another dud.
Yeah, like this is heel turn.
Yeah. So last week we talked about Howard the Duck and how it was synonymous with the box office failure, but this one takes the cake. This one actually wrote the standard, Mike. This is technically speaking, dollar for dollar, adjusted for inflation. This is one of the biggest losing propositions in movie history.
All right.
All said and done in terms of a dollar amount, Mike. And we're going to talk, of course, about Cutthroat Island from 1995.
Nice. 31 years ago. Wow.
Wow. This was pretty much worth all the preamble that exists before it. It lives up to its reputation, so to speak. And I guess we should just get it.
You mean this one didn't become like a cult classic, or people see it now and say, wow, that was really a lost piece of treasure? That movie was really good.
No, I think people actually hate it even more. They've learned to hate it even more as the time's going on. So let's just pile onto that, Mike, and go through the film. So we can't do that without talking about the main players. So let's get started. So this is directed by Rennie Harlin. We know him from a few movies we covered on the podcast. Cliffhanger. Yeah. He also did Die Hard 2. Translated in German, Mike, that means The Hard 2. Kind of fell out of favor with Hollywood after this movie. Go figure. And I made a bit of a comeback. He did Deep Blue Sea, which we all love. Remember when our viewers said that was scarier than Jaws? we politely corrected that situation.
I don't know. Samuel Jackson's speech is epic.
Yeah, it was something to remember for sure.
Check out the big brain on bread.
But he's responsible for having this on the screen. It was written by a pair of writers, Michael Beckner and James Gorman. Their writing team, we can thank those guys for the movie Sniper, Spy Game, and Deep Blue Sea. So they all stick together here.
Hey, there they go.
I guess misery does love company. The adult in the room here is a guy named Bruce Evans. He was also a screenwriter that came in to do a rewrite at Rennie Harlin's personal expense. We know him from Stand By Me and Starman. So, he kind of knew how to make a good movie. But
how bad was the screenplay before Bruce showed up? Huh?
This is what made it.
Wow.
That's what it was before. But yeah, so it had a whopping. This is the film's carrying card. It had a $92 million budget at the time, which was one of the highest of all time, which translates to roughly about $115 million now, and did not make a lot of that back, Mike. We'll get to that here at the end. And it was released on the busy holiday season, December 22nd, 1995.
What a lump of coal,
A
huh?
lump of coal in your stocking, guys. And it's currently showing on Tubi for those that are interested and you want to play along at home. You can check into Tubi and watch your own
Yeah.
experience.
Pause now, and so you can watch without the spoilers, huh?
Yeah. Discretion is advised. So Mike, before we get into the nuts and bolts of this film, you want to kind of walk us through the cast?
Wow. You know what? This is the first, I'm going to pull this card on you, Justin, and
Yeah.
I really have a lot of trouble discussing the cast. We have Rennie Harlan's wife that is in this movie,
Uh-huh.
starring as the main character. Morgan Webb, which sounds like it's like a news broadcaster from like a local TV network.
Uh-huh.
Now Morgan Webb with the news.
Yes.
Matthew Modine, who you know what? I liked him in like that movie about wrestling. You know, he was pretty good in that. And Memphis Belle. That's
Yeah.
about it. I'm not a big Matthew Modine guy. Frank Langella, you know, he's in this. He's the villain. That's all you need to know. He's as cardboard as cardboard can be. He's a two-dimensional character. Good Dracula. You know, he was good in Frost and Nixon. He was even good in the movie Eddie. So if you can imagine that.
Okay.
But everybody else, I'm not going to mention because I'm just going to call him Alan Smithy. You know, I think at least said about some of these poor, you know, characters and actors and actresses that were associated with this should be left unwritten.
Yeah, I don't think they're pining for people to remember them in this movie anyway. So I think you're probably doing a favor, Mike. So that's very generous. So thank you very much, Mike. So let me just add a little bit to the drama to that. So you mentioned Mrs. Rennie Harlan here, Gina Davis. Meryl Streep actually considered this role for a few minutes, but they figured out that she was terrible. Matthew Modine's role was considered by just about everybody in Hollywood, including Michael Douglas, who was up until like just before shooting was attached to the project. One of our show favorites, Rex Lynn. We know him from the frustrated turncoat FBI agent in Cliffhanger. He's all tatted up like a Maori warrior. It's so stupid. So he was in here.
And the guy who died, the bad FBI or CIA guy from Scarface.
He doesn't make it either.
He gets off really early in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple. The kid that was in Malcolm in the Middle, the older brother, Chris Masterson, was in this movie.
Yeah. The good Masterson, or the
So he really had fine-tuned his acting skills by this point. You could tell. Just a couple. I think the best acting in the movie was by the monkey Finster. Mike, he actually has his own IMDb page. The monkey gave the most heartfelt performances, in my opinion. I don't know if you caught the credits, Mike, but the dog here was played by Thor. Might remember Thor was also given a credit in the movie Cliffhanger. Thor he played himself in that movie, Mike. Well, here we go. Hey, have you figured out that there's not a lot to talk about here? Anyway,
this movie was missing the two surfer guys that were in Cliffhanger, the snowboarding bros.
Yeah, the guys
character like that in this movie.
The guys that hate work even when other people are doing it.
Love that line.
Yeah. Anyway, I think the best thing about the cast here, Mike, was who wasn't cast. Oliver Reed was originally cast as one of the pirates, the guy named Mordecai here. But he was fired for getting drunk and trying to expose himself to Gina Davis.
Smartest career move any actor's ever made.
Yeah, he came out smelling like a rose. Way to go, Mr. Reed. This film was riddled with just disaster, one after disaster after the other. A lot of drama on the set, including sewer pipes breaking into leaching water into where actors had to swim. Bankrupted Coralco Studios. They were kind of in trouble before this. They kind of put all their eggs in this basket, and they, were no longer a thing after the performance of this movie. Rennie Harlan fired the director of photography, who's a very well-liked member of the cast and crew. And as a result of that, about 12 crew members quit out of protest, so not so good there. We talked about the script or lack thereof. He took $1 million, Rennie Harlan did, out of his own pocket to help pay for a rewrite to help salvage this film. What you see on the screen is what cost him $1 million. A
Is
lot of that,
is he known in Hollywood as being kind of a hard ass like Terrence Malick or something, or
no,
does he have
he
like a
was
reputation?
more of a reputation of just being kind of a fragile genius, a lot of high demands, kind of
Okay.
difficult to work with. For example, he insisted that every shot have three cameras going, and that really just ate up a lot of film and a lot of money. He insisted that craft services have gallons and gallons of V8
Oh
vegetable
no.
juice for him at all times. For him and Gina Davis, it was like he insisted on that in his contract. So just again, one of those just hard to manage guys. This was shot in
Yeah.
a studio in Malta. That notoriously also shot other bombs such as Orca, Raise the Titanic, and Popeye. They're all shot on that studio.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
Cursed.
guilt by association like that, whatever. I think the cool thing is this is one of the now it's commonplace to have a female action hero as your lead, but not so much back in the 90s. This is Gina Davis's first attempt at that, and she's quite an athlete. We saw her in The Long Kiss Goodnight. She plays a great action hero there. Of course, I particularly enjoyed her performance in League of Their Own. She could actually throw a ball and hit a baseball. Very,
Yeah.
very athletic. there. And
Dottie
I think,
Henson.
yeah, and in real life, she's an Olympic archer, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, casting was good for that part at least.
Yeah, so they got that much right. That's about her and the monkey. But she's
I
now
was
without her
hoping
own.
I was hoping that was the same monkey from Friends, Marcel, but it wasn't.
No,
apparently.
it's the monkey who was in the movie Monkey Trouble,
Oh,
shot earlier that year.
wow. You know what? The whole time I watch this movie, I'm hoping that monkey eats a bad date.
Nice pull. Thank you very much. All right, so this was way back in 1995. So on the landscape for the box office that year, you had in theaters before this movie came out, you had Father of the Bride 2, Mike,
Oh,
the movie Heat.
wow.
This came out on the 22nd, along with Dracula Dead and Loving It. Oh boy, couldn't beat that, Mike. This could not.
No.
A couple days later, 12 Monkeys came out. Speaking of monkeys, grumpy nostalgia, all monkeys, all the time. But it was kind of a down year in terms of the 90s goes. But because 90s were such a monstrous year every year. The number one film that year was Batman Forever, on our plate at some point. Apollo 13, Toy Story, Pocahontas, which later got remade into Avatar, if you believe any of this stupid internet freaks that don't like Avatar. And number 5, I believe, was Ace Ventura. The best picture that year was Braveheart, right? And so not the best year of the 90s, but still some juggernauts in there. On the music scene, Mike, we always have to talk about music. Music that was popular the week that this movie came out was Gangster's Paradise.
The situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life.
Gangsta, not gangster. Gangsta's Paradise. Featuring
Rest in
Coolio.
peace, Coolio.
Yeah, it's Coolio featuring LV.
Oh, I didn't know it featured somebody. Huh.
Yeah, of course it did. It was in the 90s and it was a hip hop song. LV is the guy that actually sang the music. I guess when hip hop artists, yeah.
Is he known as 55 to his friends?
Very nice, Mike. Actually, he's known as Larry Sanders. That's his real name, Mike. But not to be confused with the Gary Shandling guy. But yeah, he's the guy that sang the Gangster Paradise song. Anyway, that was good. Remember that horrible video?
Yeah.
It's so melodramatic and so pretentious.
I miss Weird Al's Amish Paradise video.
Like the only 3 minutes of my life where I didn't like Michelle Pfeiffer. Anyway,
it came from that teaching movie.
Yeah. Anyway, other songs on the radio were "What If God Was One of Us" by Dr. Evil.
What if God was one of us? Just a slot like one of us. Blue, 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 blue. Yeah, blah, blee, blee, blee.
Of course, he's the one that wrote that song, of course, as he attests in the film.
Thank you, number 2.
I wrote that. Yeah.
covered by Joan Osborne, of course. And then
Of course.
also on the radio waves, you had "I'd Lie for You, That's the Truth" by Meatloaf, Mike.
That's the truth.
Marvin Lee Ade, who was in theaters a couple days later it was a couple years later in Fight Club, right? He was
Yeah. He had moves.
He had Bob.
That's right, Bob.
Well, hormonal therapy gone awry with large pendulous breasts, but bless his heart. So what else is going on in 95, Mike? If we hadn't heard enough about it already. This is the year that eBay and Amazon both became a thing. They just kind of taken over the entire marketplace. In 5 years, they will be the only thing in existence, I'm pretty sure. We were collecting Pogs, Mike. Pogs were all the rage.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Fad.
I'm really sorry. I kind of traded your soul to the guy at the comic book store. But look, I got some cool Pogs. Alf Pogs. Remember Alf? He's back. In Pog form. You traded my soul for Pogs?
This is the final season for a couple juggernauts on TV, Full House and Northern Exposure, Mike. A couple different audiences there.
Hey, Janine Turner from Cliffhanger.
That's right. See? Well, look at you go. If you were to draw a Venn diagram, I don't think these audiences would overlap whatsoever. No. And then we were all doing the Macarena. That kind of set the pace.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Really just emblematic of what we're even talking about here. So anyway,
there was good times, guys. We promised there was good times.
Yeah. So, when we tell you we're going to do a series about bombs, guys, we shouldn't be surprised to talk about movies we don't like. But here we are clutching our pearls about how horrible this movie was. That's the whole point, guys. But here we go. So, Mike, I think we've gone on long enough. You ready to jump in the theater?
Yeah, let's see a good movie.
Shiver your timbers and abash ye mateys and all that good stuff.
That's right.
All right, so Mike, if you would please hit the button.
Way, hey, blow the man down. He jumped on the poop, oh, the captain will be. Oh, give us some time to blow the man down.
So our movie opens up with Gina Davis, Morgan, or as her trusty man calls her through the course of the movie. She's hunting down a guy named Dog Brown, played by Frank Langella. He's an evil pirate who's captured her father, Black Harry.
Is he evil? Is he?
No.
Is it established that he's evil? Because he's very nuanced and subtle. It's got a lot of gray area there, right?
Well, he does a lot of growling at the end. So I think, So anyway, so he's got Gina Davis's father. She's trying to rescue him. The premise is there's three parts to this treasure map. Gina Davis has one, Black Harry has one, and Frank Langella, Dog Brown, has the other. They're trying to piece them all together. A plot thread later replicated in Return of Skywalker several years later. But we're just going to let that one go. We'll talk about that movie in 30 more years. But anyway, so there you go. So that's the premise of the movie. Pirates have existed since 1500 BC, Mike.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, anyway, so Harry has the third piece of the map, but it's tattooed on his head, Mike. And he decides to walk the plank, and he tries to escape. And Gina Davis is rowing her boat to catch him, and he gets fatally wounded here. And Gina rows him back to the island.
It's interesting that he starts walking the plank and it's full daylight, and by the time they actually make him jump the plank, it's totally dark.
It was a very long plank.
It must have been a very long monologue or like a Franz Roman's Countryman kind of speech was made.
Did he have a peg leg?
Yes, he did.
Okay, but the peg was missing during his death scene.
Correct. I'm glad you noticed that.
I guess it grew back.
I had that in my notes along with Gina Davis's obvious sunglass tan. That was like really off-putting.
Yeah, so there's an emotional scene where Gina's consoling him, and she's telling him about the situation, and he tells her to cut his hair, shave his head, and apparently he's tattooed the map on top of his head because that was convenient. And I don't know if he tattooed it himself. I think he did because they talked about the writing being backwards, like in a mirror. Like I'm assuming he tattooed his own head, looking in the mirror. That's why all the writing was backwards. But
then they also had to take the scalp and fold it just to read some of the words. So I'm
well,
like,
that's okay. I'm glad you brought that up because he asked her to shave his head, so she pulls out her knife. But what really ends up happening is she scalps her dead father, pulls the skin right off his head.
And there's no reverence towards the scalp. The whole movie is just kind of handed from person to person.
He's just carrying around Dad's head.
It's literally like a piece of parchment at that point, you know.
Yeah. So, all right, so that happens in the first 8 minutes, guys. So buckle in. Meanwhile, I guess the film's male hero here, Mr. Shaw, played by Matthew Modine. We show him he's a con man and he's trying to like hustle the aristocracy out of their money, and he gets caught and arrested and sold into slavery. Mike,
that's how it worked back then.
That's how it works, right? A little bit later, Gina Davis is in the same town. She learns that
Justin, that slavery has existed since like 5000 BC.
I did not know that. Cool.
There you go.
Yeah. But anyway, so Gina Davis hears that this slave that they're selling on the auction block speaks Latin.
Dominus vobiscum, shithead.
And she wants that because the language of the map is written in Latin, so they need someone to interpret. So she buys him. Did you know that grog is a mixture of rum and water? And sometimes if the sailors had a little lime and a little sugar. Anyway, so she buys him at the marketplace, and as she does that, she gets noticed by the bad guys, and there's a big chaotic set piece that happens in the middle of the movie where just a bunch of stuff happens for what, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of good old-fashioned kind of slapstick action, huh?
Swashbuckling, I would call it, Mike.
It's like what it is.
Remember a couple of shows ago we said most of the scenes in Dream a Little Dream were just invented so Corey Haim could say something? I'm thinking that's what they did with Matthew Modine here, because he never really said a line that meant anything. He was making quips the entire movie.
Yeah, every line he had was a reaction to something that happened.
It was a quip or a joke or, wow.
And some of the dubbing was outrageously bad. Like they would say something
dialogue,
while they're running and it's explosion going up. The AR guy, whoever must have like had like trying to find out. Okay, let's just insert this audio line right here.
I'll see you in a few weeks. Until then, I've turned things over to my bestest buddy in the whole wide world.
Mr. Black.
I want you to treat
Mr. Black
with the same respect you would give me. Now here's
Mr. Black.
Right.
It just did not work. It was like, wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. The black skull and crossbone flag is called the Jolly Roger, Mike, and pirates would fly that to warn people that they were coming.
And did you know that Gina Davis's pirate flag was actually Blackbeard's pirate flag, and it wasn't actually, every pirate flag was different. Not everybody just used the swords and the skull. So just so you know that.
Ahoy, matey!
Wow. Call me R.L. Stein because I just got goosebumps.
There you go.
Anyway, during the fray, Gina Davis gets shot here, and then she's nursed back to health because Matthew Modine also has surgical prowess, and she heals him up. And as she's taking out the bullet, they fall in love, and it's on, baby. Anyway, so Gina Davis's old captain of her ship does a heel turn here and joins Frank Langella, Dog. And they make an attack on her, and there's this big set piece on the open ocean, set in the middle of a storm, and there's a big shipwreck. They're both trying to get all the complete the map. That's the big premise of the movie. So anyway, hey, the Pittsburgh Pirates joined the National League in 1887.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, do you know that Captain Morgan was a pirate, but he was given clemency by the British because he was attacking the Spanish fleets?
What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor?
Wow, is that why he put his knee up on every barrel he came?
That's right.
He later starred in the movie Giant Gila Monster, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the only way he can act in that movie. Yeah.
So the scene ends with a big shipwreck, and Gina Davis and all her cast of characters, supporting actors, are floating in the middle of the ocean. And luckily, they crashed right outside the island, Mike, and they paddle their way in, Cutthroat Island, if you will. Right?
Yeah, you know what? They actually, the latitude longitude they give in the movie is a point in the middle of the ocean between Colombia and Jamaica, but there's no island there.
Interesting.
So it really is uncharted.
Okay, I just got a cold shiver down my back. Anyway, so once they get on the island, there's about 48 minutes of
put a shawl or a sweater
shawl on for all those douche chills. But yeah, there's about 48 minutes of X marks the spot that kind of fills out the film's third act, where they're just trying to find the final location. Where they kind of stumble across the gold.
I love gold.
You know the guy who played Glasspool in this movie? His last name was Shaw. He was also in The Great Santini.
Do you know that pirates didn't really have Paris around them all the time? They were just kind of a stereotype by Robert Louis Stevenson when he did Long John Silver. Famously added the parrot in Treasure Island, but real pirates didn't carry parrots around.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
So,
what about peg legs?
Those are real.
Okay.
And so were their flamboyant costumes, Mike. But we'll save that for a later date. But anyway, so there's the inevitable conclusion where Gina Davis fights Frank Langella, and then of course he gets cannonballed, Mike. And I love the physics of this scene. He gets her cornered, and he's about ready to kill her, and she picks up a stick that's got fire on it. And he says, "We're gonna fight with this stick." She says, "No, I'm gonna fight with this cannon." And there's a conveniently cannon's placed right ajar to her, and she lights the cannon, and the cannonball shoots him. And apparently, Frank Langella's skeletal body is more robust than oak planks, because he takes the cannonball like that fat guy in the stock footage.
And his whole body just kind of boing, boing, boing.
And the impact of the shot bust him and the cannonball through the ship's hull, rather than the cannonball just going through his little fleshy body. But anyway, so that's the end of the movie.
Wow.
And then of course they had the wherewithal to put like floats on all the treasure, so all the sunken treasure floats at the end. And
after the Sepoy uprising in India, that the English would tie the rebels to cannons and actually just point blank hit them with a cannonball.
Right.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. And they didn't bury their treasure. They didn't bury their booty. They did what they did in this film's finale, where they divvied it all up on the ship's hull there. And
so I don't know that Robert Louis Stevenson and his little thing about burying treasure.
He really ruined the whole pirate genre just as much as this movie did. But there you go. So that's the end. And then she gives all her treasure. They split it up evenly, and she asks them what they want to do, and they said, "Well, we'll just keep it, and we'll just sail to Madagascar." And everybody's happy. And then she does come hither glance to Mr. Shaw there, and she says, "I'll see you in my cabin immediately." And then the monkey mugs for the camera, and the movie's over. Yeah, there you go. Ahoy, Macy's. All right, there it is. Boy. I hope you enjoyed the movie, guys, because we sure did. And let's talk about awards and accolades, Mike. So this had a $2.3 million opening on a $115 million budget.
On a Christmas Day kind of movie.
Yeah, a couple of days before Christmas. So do the math there. Not what the studio was hoping for. It did manage to squeeze out about $10 million in its domestic run, which means it lost roughly, adjusted for inflation, $187 million. Killing Carolco Studios, as well as the pirate genre for quite some time. I don't think I remember the last good pirate movie, short of, I guess, Pirates of the Caribbean has taken the only genre of that, but which was originally what they wanted to do in the first place, but they couldn't get the rights from Disney, of course, so they made up their own pirate movie. But there were some other pirate movies around this time that weren't good either. The pirate movie, quote unquote, Yellowbeard and Roman Polanski's Pirates, all equally flopped at the box office. This was a cautionary tale of Hollywood just not following trends or whatever, but there you go. So did it win any awards, Mike? Believe it or not, did win. It was nominated for a Razzie, however, for worst director. But thankfully for Mr. Harland here, this was the year that Showgirls, Congo, and Waterworld also came out.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so
Bombs
the legacy
away.
of this film is just that. It's just one of the most financially disastrous films of all time. The purpose of this show is to see if it was watchable, and I think you might have gathered your own opinion by now, but we probably feel not. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Roger Ebert gave this 3 out of 4 stars. However, he did like the film.
That's interesting.
Makes you question some of his. Again, it goes back to that adage. There's no bad movies, right, Mike? There's just movies you don't like, and movies are very subjective and very personal. And,
yeah.
So even the worst ones have their charms. So
I'm glad we agree on this one, though.
Yeah. It was
maybe.
Yeah, it was a foregone conclusion, pretty much. But it also had
We're not bearing the lead here, are we? You can't tell. Okay.
Yeah. It also had a video game for the Sega Genesis, which I did not play.
Really?
But apparently, it followed the story. But so maybe that's why it sucked. I don't know. So there you go. So nothing we've talked about matters at all. What really matters is how you and I feel. We're the host of the podcast, so that's all that really matters. So this brings us to the point of our podcast we call our Grumpy Meter. It's kind of the premise where we go back and review these movies we watched as young film fans without as much baggage, and then we view them again under the guise of grumpy old jerks. See if our opinions change on them one way or the other, Mike. So I want to let you kick it off here, Mike. If you want to talk about maybe the first time you saw it, or you didn't see it, and why you didn't see it, and then your most recent take on this film. So take it away.
All right. No, I never saw it before until yesterday. You know what? This is going to sound very simplistic and very I don't know, probably a really bad reason to not want to go see a movie. But it was the movie poster. And I'll tell you why. It had Matthew Modine bare-chested in it. And he looked like a really weenie kind of guy in the poster. And I was like, this looks silly and stupid. I'm sorry. Your pirate should have a beard or eye patch. You should be wearing a bandana. We get this muffiny haired, bare chested Matthew Modine. I was like, it was immediate turn off. So I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
We don't care about this movie, and people listening are like, wow, these guys really don't care. No, you don't understand. The people who made this movie didn't care. Obviously, I mentioned it before. One of the first scenes you see of Gina Davis is really off putting. It's like, what's wrong with her face? And you realize she has a tan line from sunglasses. No! And
you noticed that too?
It's so obvious. And it really bothered me. And I was like, it was at that point, I'm like, if they didn't care to maybe digitally remove this or have her wear makeup, then I shouldn't care. Should I care that her wanted poster that was in the town of Port Royal did not look like her at all? The prop person that drew that deserves an F and maybe 0
maybe
stars.
It was the same person that did the artwork of Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I know. Oh yeah. I mean, it's so badly done. It's like, and then the guy looking at the poster like, oh my God, it's her. It's like, wait a minute, how'd you get that from that?
Bit of a stretch, yeah.
It looked like a picture of Marie Antoinette, on codeine or something. The music score was so over the top with actual chorus and a choir. Yeah. It reminded me like Lord of the Rings. It felt like the meaning or significance of Lord of the Rings. I mean, this is supposed to be a swashbuckling movie. It should be lots of flute playing or like horns going wow wow.
Yeah,
and
give me a harpsichord. Yeah,
they're trying to make a lighthearted kind of swashbuckling movie, but it was just very dour and just not fun. Matthew Modine and Gina Davis are just not appealing as the characters they were. It starts out with her, you see the back of her, she's obviously topless, and she has apparently seduced this rich guy, and you're like, whoa. This is the angle they're going to go with. She's going to use her feminine sex appeal. Is she going to use this later on? And it's never utilized in any aspect. And
she spends the rest of the movie just beating people's faces in. Why would she? Why would she have to
and
seduce this bounty hunter is looking for her? She was
I don't want to
face.
Before anybody can accuse us of not liking a female lead in a movie, they the movie didn't like a female. It's like I said, they didn't use the sex appeal like aspect like you would have seen in Kathleen Turner you mentioned earlier in Romancing the Stone. It's all over that movie. And Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider. This one, it's like there's one moment where she's voted captain, and you're like, wow, they're going to say something about she's a woman or something, and that is just glossed over, and that's it.
Yeah.
Your whole rest of the movie, you don't even it's not even used as an issue or a plot device anywhere. And you would think it would be, and it was just kind of weird. She was just one of the boys, which is good in one way, but it wasn't like I could see a feminist watch this movie and be like, why wasn't this addressed more? She's actually, I mean, there were in history real female pirates that dressed as men and had brave, courageous acts they did. And I don't know. I just think it was kind of just, anyway, the accents, me and my accents, there was crew members that had American accents. Of course, all of our evil English guys, had their pompous ass accents,
Yeah.
I just never, but they would use, it wasn't just the accents, it was the dialogue. Like Gina Davis would say something like, you're going to be at the point of my cutlass, and use like this and almost like stilted language, we'll, we need, but then it would be just like normal. Matthew Modine would be this really, use this real twerpy, American accent along with a little Chris Masters. I want to say Danny, but no, Danny's the bad guy. It was just, it was just off-putting. Again, it's just like, why do that? Some of the special effects, you obviously see safety harnesses and wires being used. So, you kind of think, okay, this is a big budget movie, right? And I don't know. I felt the same way watching this that I felt watching Clash of the Titans, the remake with Sam Worthington. Whereas it felt like it was perfunctory. They were aping another style of movie. Like this movie was kind of aping like Captain Blood or, one of those old Errol Flynn kind of things. But watching, Clash of the Titans, I had no emotions watching it.
Right.
Everybody seemed to be doing stuff I'd seen before. And that's the way I feel about this movie. And like I said, Frank Langella, you think of, Jeffrey Rush and, Pirates of the Caribbean and how he's such a funny villain, goofy in a way, but also menacing. Frank Langella had none of that. And it was like, this was obviously trying to be a comedy of some sort and a fun comedy. But when you have a villain that's just so unlikable and, and just, I don't know, I was really just kind of let down by the fact that the tone of this movie wasn't more lighthearted. It just felt dour. Right. And, even with all the money spent on it, you could not, get that feeling of a lighthearted swashbuckling film. So, it was a drag to watch. Really was.
All right. Well, again, I did like the film a lot, and I'll tell you why. No, that's, again, I'm lying again. I share a lot of the same sentiment you do. I think what got me right away was you mentioned the language. So the casting Americans was a terrible idea because it's not set in an American type place. And that thing you said about you feel the point of my cutlass, that is like a Shakespearean line uttered by like an actress from Redondo Beach. That doesn't match. It doesn't work, and that threw me off. Especially when there's accents all over the place. So that kind of language, it just didn't work. I didn't like the fact that I wish I liked the movie as much as the soundtrack told me I was supposed to. You know what I mean?
I know, right?
Yeah, it was just really over the top. I wish the movie was as good as the soundtrack thought it was supposed to be, but I couldn't find myself caring about any of these characters, and I think you got it right in the head. I think it was incredibly miscast. We talked about this a little before the show. It's like the female version of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, the Kevin Costner vehicle we reviewed at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they just took that format and just they did it again, or it's just wrong people saying the wrong things in the wrong movie with the wrong tone, and you don't care about any of these guys. Langella, I mean, that role was screaming for a sinister, snarky, Alan Rickman villain.
Yeah,
and he you only knew he was a bad guy because he literally growled. He literally growled at people. There's nothing sinister or sly or clever about him. He just growled. Like I could do that, you know. They could have hired Andre the Giant for that.
Howdy, you are in heaven, but I am the king of the clouds.
Anyway, he might have been better off. Who knows? Anyway, I didn't watch this when it came out the first time for the same reason. It just looked to me like I was just garnishing my cynical attitude about movies of that era. I'm like, you know what? This is something I could probably skip. And we talked about the movies that were out there on there that summer. This was just one that you could afford to skip because there was going to be 3 good ones the next week. You know, it was nothing like you had to go out and see. And I did. Yeah. And now I know why. I really approached this thinking that I'm hoping this is just one that's got past the goalie. I'm hoping that surely it can't be as good as its reputation precedes it. I'm sure there was something out of this that you could have liked, but you know, an hour into the movie, I'm like, nothing yet. And it's So
I thought it was one of those movies, like I said, where it was a pissing contest between studio execs, and it got lost in the shuffle. And you thought, well, maybe it just didn't, and maybe didn't get advertised enough, and just didn't get enough, like, you know, publicity before it came out. But I actually read something that said that it was like
it was marketed horribly.
Yeah, they said it was like, you know, wow, this should have been marketed better because this movie is a piece of hidden treasure. And I was like, really? And after watching it, you know, it was hidden for a reason.
Yeah, it's you should walk the plank for sure.
If I have to see another nut shot or knife to somebody's testicles, you know, I can.
Yeah, they didn't play that enough, did they? Yeah, all right. So just talking to low blows. So you know that it's no secret that we didn't like the movie, but that's the point. We're talking about movies that are historically bad, trying to understand if they're good or not, you know, if there's something to be salvaged out of that. And so that'll bring us to the our second installment of this special series, something we call the Bomb Squad.
All right.
As you remember, we are the Grumpy Nostalgia Bomb Squad, the last line of defense against foreign cinematic disasters. We stand where others flee, into the bargain bins, dusty VHS shelves, dollar DVD racks, and the darkest corners of Roku and Tubi. We willingly march into battle armed with nothing but sarcasm, apathy, and an unhealthy knowledge of ancient cinema. We do not fear plot holes, montages, sax solos, or slow-motion explosions. We do not retreat from bad acting, feathered hair, or breakdancing. We do not surrender to terrible sequels, unnecessary reboots, or crappy special effects. We shall mock with honor. No film is too cheesy, no script is too ridiculous, no box office bomb is beyond our reach. Our mission is clear: to watch what others won't, to remember what others have wisely forgotten.
Like Cutthroat Island.
That's right. To that effect, we're going to help you kind of diffuse 3 new ticking time bombs on your video selection shelf, guys, and we're going to help ascertain whether these need to be diffused or you need to get away immediately. So some other bombs that existed in the year 1995, and there's plenty to choose from. Now, there are a lot of bad movies, but there's a difference between a bad movie and a bomb. So, Mike, in this year, you had Mortal Kombat and Congo in 9 months, and the Brady Bunch movie and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but those made money. These particular movies were also big and cost a lot of money, but they did not. So we're going to help you diffuse these, whether you should watch them or not. So the first one I'm going to pick here, Mike, is Showgirl.
Oh, yeah.
From 1995, written by Joe Esterhaus and starring a melange of B-list actors and actresses.
Gina Gershon.
And what's the Saved by the Bell girl? I forget her
Berkeley. Elizabeth Berkeley.
Elizabeth Berkeley, who's fantastic in this movie. You got Kyle MacLachlan and some other Skinamax style actors. It's a harrowing tale of a stripper working her way up to the Las Vegas scene, Mike, and infamous for several reasons. But is it worth the bomb status, Mike? You want to give me your take on it?
You know, this was a movie that was maligned just because it was so. Elizabeth Berkley's acting chops were probably kind of limited, and just playing that role in that way, you knew you were set up to be mocked and lampooned by every late night talk show host at the time, and every article or any kind of thing that mentioned this movie. It was the first, that was the first thing. And Joe Esterhaus, I mean, God bless him, he has a terrible reputation for possibly
he had the
portraying
movie.
women in a bad light.
Yeah, he had the movie Jade out at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
he's really rocking and
back
rolling,
to
man.
back bombs, huh?
Yeah.
But I watched it. I remember watching it in a theater where it's one of those places where you could get like a meal served to you and you're watching it, and
like a
I
draft
quite
house
enjoyed
thing.
myself.
Yeah.
It was a delicious meal. I don't remember the movie very well. A hell of a lot of nudity, if you're into that kind of thing. And it's one of those movies where, even if you're a teenager or 20-something-year-old boy watching it, or man, you see so much TNA, you just get turned off by it after a while. It just
you
becomes
get
part
numb,
of the
numb to it.
scenery of the furniture, and it's just like it's not titillating enough, pardon the pun, to be interesting for like that kind of aspect. But the movie itself is not as bad as it was portrayed. It was just this very sleazy. You needed to take a shower after watching it, and that's the way I kind of felt about it. It was not a poorly made movie. It was just a poorly kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not just not not a good cinema verite kind of description of that particular business. I mean, you could have gone one way with the material, and Joe went the other way, which is
he sure did.
Bottom barrels you could go.
Yeah, I'm with you. There was so much gratuitous stuff that at some point you're immune to it, and then when all that's gone, you have to kind of look at what the story is, and then there's nothing there. I watched this movie with the same expectation that most people had to see that. How bad is this really? That was your intention when you watched this film in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give this an all clear for the Bomb Squad because I think it's watchable for the camp value alone. I think it saves it. It's one of those rare instances where a bad movie can be played up as a cult film because it's got the chops to do so. I think they knew what they were doing here. I think they knew this was always going to be the legacy of this film was always going to be what it was going to be. So we'll just embrace it because they certainly made no attempt to do otherwise, in my opinion. So there you go. It's our first movie is Showgirls, and we're going to get an all clear.
Gina Gershon going full frontal should be a immediate all clear for any red-blooded man.
And Elizabeth Berkley doing a series of kung fu with no panties. Anyway, we'll get into an area we don't want to go. All right, so there you go. Our first assessment is all clear, guys. Feel free to rent this. It won't blow up. Fingers will stay intact. All right, so the next one, Mike, is an odd movie, but we talked about it a little bit in the past. But I'm going to go with Tank Girl from 1995. Yeah. This starred Lori Petty as the titular character and Ice-T as a donkey, a post-apocalyptic donkey.
Oh wow!
Based on a very famous comic book. Comic book movies were not a thing back then, so they took some risks. Universally panned by most critics, not very successful at the box office, even though it had neat art direction, neat costume, neat special effects, great art direction, but just didn't really find a home with audiences. And to this day, has not been remade, which I'm very shocked about. It seems like this would be right up modern Hollywood.
I know, right?
But the movie is just kind of a nothing burger. Not a whole lot happens. Lori Petty did a pretty good performance, but I just think there just wasn't enough to overcome. Not enough happened. So, Mike, what's your take on it?
Never saw it.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about it was it had like I remember seeing Malcolm McDowell was like of course, a bad British guy. I had no idea it was a comic. I thought it was more based on there was an actual real life story about a guy who actually stole a tank from a National Guard base and rode it to a town.
I know that I watched.
He was protesting like taxes or something, and I thought it was kind of based on that. Like she had enough, and she took a tank and was like going to get revenge on like somebody in this town. Right. But I obviously I'm confused. I have no idea about this movie. I stayed away from it just because of the name itself.
Yeah,
Tank Girl. It just for 1995 audience. Did it bomb in the theaters or was it? I mean, obviously, if we're trying to diffuse it here,
it was a huge bomb.
Was it a huge bomb? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, all right. So, given Mike's incomplete, I'm going to go with. I think you can proceed with caution. You may get third-degree burns, but you will keep all your digits intact here. So that's the Bomb Squad's assessment for that. So,
is it good? I mean, was it a good movie?
It's titillating. It's odd to watch. It's you want to keep watching to see, how weird can they go, and they keep going weirder and weirder.
Okay.
But again, if they would have had, some sort of like action-packed story, I think it might have pulled through. But as a curiosity thing, it's not a bad watch, I would guess. So again,
Okay.
it's about
I was wondering if they use like the comic book kind of
yeah,
framework or visuals in
not
it or
enough. That
anything.
that that was the
Okay.
consensus. The Tank Girl community did not embrace it. Didn't agree with the
That
interpretation, the
small
adaptation
pool
of
of
it.
British
Yeah,
comic fans.
they
Okay.
didn't really like the adaptation. They just kind of fell flat with that crowd. If you can't appease that crowd, you're not going to get a lot of crossover either. So there you go.
Gotcha.
So okay, job well done.
I see. Huh.
All right, so there's a few others that I could pick from here, Mike. Waterworld, but we've talked about that one on a previous podcast. We have kind of know the consensus there. Money Train was a
Oh
huge
yeah.
loss. The Woody Harrelson and Wesley
Yeah,
Snipes.
it was okay.
Yeah, the ill-fated Scarlet Letter with Demi Moore and I think Michael Douglas. Um, I don't know how you can make a classic story like that boring, but they did. And Strange Days, which I think is a
Oh
interesting
yeah.
thing to maybe look back on. I think that was the first film that used the phrase Y2K, but odd little film by Mrs. James Cameron at the time. But I'm going to go with a big one here, Mike. I'm going to talk about Fair Game.
Oh
I
wow.
believe this movie was sponsored by Pepsi because all I remember out was there was a Pepsi
Yeah.
logo in just about every scene.
Well,
Of
Cindy
course,
Crawford was
this was
known
Cindy
for
Crawford and
doing all
Billy
those
Baldwin.
Pepsi ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of a tacky, let's see if we can get away with putting these two people in a movie, attempt at a movie, that I guess they thought, given the popularity of Cindy Crawford, that people would flock to see this movie.
Yeah.
Lots of explosions,
Yeah,
lots of faux feminism. What it really was just gratuitous, exploitation. Billy Baldwin. I guess
yeah, you get the worst Baldwin. Well, maybe Steven.
the
But yeah,
lesser
you
Baldwin.
get a bad Baldwin. Yeah.
But yeah, this was an MTV generation type film that just not a lot of people gravitated to. Mike, have you ever ventured watching this movie?
Honestly, I've seen about half of it. The Cindy Crawford acting was so acting. The Cindy Crawford on screen was so hard to watch. It reminded me of like, Kathy Ireland and Alien from L.A. It was just so, it's a classic case of seen and not heard because it was awful, and I don't even remember really, other than like the KGB's involved and he's protecting her, but they fall in love, and it's just so.
Yeah, well, it's like every other movie that Joel Silver produced in the '90s. They all kind of had the same It was all like a hot girl and a cool guy and
Yeah,
the spy game thing and
spies. Yeah,
wrong identity and KGB's trying to assassinate you and things blow up a lot. But this one just I'm gonna go full bomb on this one, Mike.
yeah. This one's
Yeah.
that's the what I know of it and what I've saw of it. This is stay behind your protective shield. Do not approach.
This is evacuate the building, guys.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
one, see that on the shelf. Don't just go get a Pepsi and drink that if you want.
There's no redeeming. I mean, this movie.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't. There's no saying, "Hey, it aged well." No,
No, there's none of that. There's no
it was
camp value. There's no
camp.
no,
The acting, again, the acting is so bad by one person that it ruins it for everyone. You
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
is really so. Ugh. Wow,
Okay.
good one.
Well, there you go.
Good pick, Justin. Good
I
pick.
feel like we've done our duty, and I do mean duty. But there you go. That's the Bomb Squad assessment for this week, guys. So stay out there and keep all 10 fingers. All right.
That's right.
So, Mike, that will have to wrap it up because we're just grasping at straws here at this point. So there's really no need to keep talking. But if you like what you heard today for some reason, don't forget to check us out on our Instagram page. That's at Grumpy Nostalgia. We have a webpage called grumpynostalgia.buzzsprout.com. You can check us out there. That's everything. All of our shows, all of our podcasts you listen to, stuff about me and Mike. That's your one-stop shop for all information about our show. The antithesis of that would be our YouTube channel, which no one looks at. that's got nothing except our podcast. If you want to sound busy at work, you can click on that and listen to all these shows on your computer.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you should at least watch the video and see what how attractive we are.
Yeah, no, I don't do videos, Mike. I just do the audios.
Oh, too bad. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
I spent about 2 weeks of my life putting out videos, and I got like 6 views. And I said, you know what? I'm taking my ball and going home.
Where you guys? I'm going home.
I love you, audience. So anyway, so coming attractions, we're going to do some traveling over the summer, so we may not be in our studio at all times. We're going to try to get some content going out there for you. So, Mike, I think you got a trip pending here, so you may not be out. You may be out of the States for a little bit, but
yes, sir.
We've got some guest hosts coming in to fill in for Mike's vacancy, which we'll be covering some great movies. For those that are curious, our third and thankfully final movie we're going to cover in this series will be Jaws 3D. The third movie in the Jaws installment. We feel it appropriate to be the third movie in our we don't know when we're going to get that, but we promise it's coming. If you're a big fan of the band Kiss, we're going to have a special guest host. Aaron's going to sit in and we're going to review Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. That'll be coming up here in the following weeks. And then me and Mike have been asked to be on some other podcasts, so we'll be guests on some other podcasts. We'll let you know as those details develop how you can catch us on some other shows. We hope you will join us in cross promotions. That'll be great. So, all right, so that's going to wrap it up for us for this show. Mike, anything else you want to say to the gang before we get out of here today?
I got my Hershey bar and my diamond laser. I'm going to the Congo.
All right, well, that'll do it. So for Mike James, this is Justin, and we'll see you again next time, ladies.
Ahoy.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry I put you through that. I don't know what I was thinking watching all these crap movies, man.
I know you're out there, Morgan. I can smell you.
Morgan.
Morgan. Dear Lord.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had read several I didn't venture into the YouTube videos, with the title, and they're like, "This is the best movie everyone missed," and it was like, really?
Yeah,
Cutthroat
I watched
Island?
a few of those before I watched it. Like, okay, I'm going to
Did you?
psych myself up. If a few random people on the internet say this is worth watching, I'm like, okay, but you know what? Those people are stupid. This is a horrible movie.
What was their reasoning? What would they say about it that was so good? I mean, because
the
you
action,
watch.
they thought it was funny. They thought it was action packed.
Oh, wow.
They
Like
thought
monkeys.
the story moved. Yeah, I guess the monkey was enough to titillate their tiny little brains. It's the same reason that people like this claptrap of modern movies. It's like this is a movie that can be made could have been made in 2026.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
But yeah, I was going to say in the podcast, I forgot, but Pirates of the Caribbean I think, shut down any argument somebody has about this movie. If you watch the Pirates of the Caribbean, it's like, wow, that's how you do a pirate
that's
movie,
how you do it. Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, I didn't watch any of the 17 that came after, but the first one was like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah, it really
why?
was.
Because they had Johnny Depp doing a real accent and being eccentric and crazy and funny
and actually funny.
Charming.
Yeah. Comedy guys. Comedy.
Yeah.
Not just witty overdubbed lines, that are stupid from whatever.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'm done.
Wow.
Enough. God. Let's do another hour. Come on. Roll them. Hit the record button.
Feel better, you whiny little assholes.
I'm gonna tell you more about that Mordecai guy. He really got my goat.
Get some real problems, you stupid podcasters. All right. Stop this crap.